Hello, hello. Welcome back to EFT with Lucy. My name is Lucy and I'm so happy you're here. Today we're going to be doing a really important tapping and healing, which is slowing down our racing mind, our racing thoughts. There is nothing wrong with you if you feel like you are constantly overthinking or you are constantly being pulled away by your thoughts and the what ifs and feeling like there's a lot of racing thoughts, anxious thoughts that are in your brain. It's a very normal human thing. It's not fun to experience. And oftentimes it's not very helpful, even though it's oftentimes a protective mechanism of our brain and our mind to say, oh, if we overthink, it might protect us from feeling emotional pain or emotional distress, which is great. How brilliant of our brain, right? But it's oftentimes not very helpful. So what we're gonna do is slow down your thoughts. We're gonna regulate your nervous system so that you can actually access the critical thinking part of your brain, because when we start to get into a stressed state, like a flight or fight response, or a hypo regulated state, so we're like that kind of like, oh, nothing matters, we're not able to access our full effectiveness of our brain. So when we start to lower our stress level, the more effective you're going to be at actually dealing with whatever problem is at hand and stressing you out. So let's get into it. So as we get into this tapping, I'm gonna first invite you to close your eyes, and you're just gonna start to visualize yourself the most recent time that you felt like your thoughts were racing. So whether it's right now, maybe you can close your eyes, you can picture yourself sitting in the chair you're sitting in or wherever you are right now. Or again, maybe it was earlier today and you felt like your thoughts just got the best of you. Wherever you are is perfect and correct. You're just gonna picture yourself and notice yourself here. Maybe take a deep breath right now. And as you exhale, again, just visualizing this version of you, seeing yourself in your mind's eye, noticing anything there is to notice about you as you are overthinking, seeing yourself with your thoughts racing. What is your facial expression? What is your posture like? And what are the things you notice about yourself? Maybe you can even rate your racing thoughts on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most intense, the fastest thoughts, 1 being completely easy, breezy, relaxed. You just got a 90-minute massage, the most relaxing massage. Just noticing where you are on a scale of 1 to 10. And this version of you, not making yourself wrong or judging yourself. We're just picturing this overthinking part of you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and we're gonna start on the side of the hand. My thoughts are racing and they feel really powerful, but powerful in a scary way, not powerful in the most comforting way. It feels like I'm having a hard time being present with myself because all my mind is feeding me are these anxious thoughts, these racing thoughts. Maybe they're a little bit critical, like, why didn't I do this? I should be doing this differently. I should have done this already. This shouldn't be affecting me. But the fact of the matter is, my mind is really racing. Maybe it makes me sad. Maybe it makes me really stressed out. I can see myself getting more and more anxious, more and more activated. But I'm loving and accepting myself. I can recognize from the outside that this version of me is just having a hard time. I'm simply having a hard time. I'm stressed, and this pattern of overthinking has kicked in like it normally does. And as much as I appreciate my brain trying to solve my problems, my mind kicking into overdrive, maybe to help me feel safer or to avoid pain, I appreciate that about my mind. But I really want to change this pattern. This pattern is not helping me. It's actually making me feel really bad. It's taking away from my life, making me feel disengaged, scattered, maybe critical of myself, irritable, physically not well, and however else it shows up for me. I'm loving and accepting myself even though I feel this racing mind, even though my mind is racing, even though my thoughts are racing, and it feels like I can't control them. I'm loving and accepting myself wholly and completely, and I'm honoring the fact that my brain is willing to go into overdrive and attempts to protect me and help me avoid emotional pain and discomfort. I'm honoring that that is my experience right now. I'm releasing the judgment, and I'm sending myself a big hug of compassion so I can start to calm down, so I can start to experience slow, calm thoughts in my mind. Loving and accepting myself wholly and completely. Take a deep breath in and let it go. All right, let's tap it out. Starting on the top of the head. These racing thoughts, my racing mind. Feels like I can't catch a moment's rest. I can't slow down. Even if I physically slow down and stop and physically rest, my mind is still going and going and going. Even if my body is resting, my mind is so active. It's making me feel really stressed. It's making me feel scattered. It's making me feel shameful of myself. And I hear all the shoulds starting to play. That playlist, that soundtrack of shoulds coming in. Like I shouldn't be stressing. I should just be able to deal with this. I should have done things differently. And I'm just witnessing this reaction. Acknowledging the feelings that are coming up for me. Frustration, sadness, worry, and maybe fear under it all. Maybe I'm just afraid of something happening the way I don't want it to. Or maybe I'm afraid I'll never feel rested and relaxed again. But I'm loving and honoring that this is my experience right now. I'm not going to make myself wrong for this. But I am going to notice it and acknowledge that I am not my thoughts. I probably learned this reaction a long time ago. And maybe the familiarity of it provides me some comfort when I'm stressed. Maybe there's some sort of beliefs or tone that I took on when I was younger and just assumed that this is the way the world works. Maybe these racing thoughts are even making me tell a story about myself. That I'm not capable, or that I'm wrong, that I'm too much, or not enough, or whatever else comes up. But I'm choosing to acknowledge that these are thoughts. And I am not my thoughts. Just because I'm witnessing these thoughts doesn't mean that they're true. And it doesn't mean that I have to believe them. Maybe I can picture myself sitting in my chair, and I can picture the Spotify playlist running of these anxious thoughts. And I can recognize that they are not me. They are simply a pattern that pop up. This is simply a habit. But habits can be changed. And thoughts can be changed. So even though I feel stressed, I feel anxious, or simply unsettled, I'm allowing myself to come back to this present moment, feeling the sensation of my feet on the floor, feeling the comforting hug of whatever I'm sitting in right now as it supports me. Recognizing that I can play a different soundtrack. I can turn down the volume to these thoughts. And I actually do have the power to think the thoughts I want to think, even if they feel new and uncomfortable or different, even if it feels challenging. I always have the power to direct my attention, to direct my focus, and to direct my thoughts wherever I want them. I can't control my first thought, but I can control my second thought. So even if my mind keeps breaking away like a dog that slipped out of its collar, I have the patience, and I'm calling in the patience to bring it back, to redirect it, and to slow it down. I'm allowing my thoughts to slow. I'm allowing it to be safe for my thoughts to slow. Even if it means I have to sit with uncomfortable thoughts, uncomfortable sensations, or uncomfortable emotions. I know I have the resilience and the strength to sit with this discomfort, because I would rather be present with my feelings than trying to chase down these racing thoughts. More like be dragged away by my racing thoughts. I'm allowing myself to be safe in this moment, reminding myself this is not an emergency. I have what it takes to solve this problem. Whatever is bringing up these worry thoughts, I actually have the ability and the power to find a solution and follow through on that solution. I'm allowing myself to be present, allowing my thoughts to slow, and allowing it to feel really good to slow down my thoughts. Allowing it to be really good that I am present with myself. Even if things don't look the way I want them to right now. Even if it means acknowledging and experiencing emotional pain. It feels better to acknowledge it and process it. Than slipping into these unconscious patterns and habits and being pulled away by my racing thoughts. So I'm loving and accepting myself. exactly where I am, honoring the fact that this is my experience, not making myself wrong for these racing thoughts, but acknowledging myself for identifying this pattern that doesn't feel good anymore, and having the courage to disrupt it. Having the courage to sit with these thoughts and to sit here in the present moment. I'm calling my full awareness, my full power to this moment. And all the other resources I need to face this moment in a way that makes me proud. Loving, honoring, and forgiving myself wholly and completely. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Great job. I'm so proud of you. I think this was a really big one, so definitely drink your water today. Go to sleep early if you can, or go take a nap after this if you're able. But hopefully this really helps you feel more grounded, more present, because you got this. You don't have to continually feel like you're being dragged left and right by your mind. You really do have the power to direct your attention, to direct your thoughts, even if you can't control the first thought, like I said, but you can always control the second thought. And I always say this with my clients, and we always have this realization with all the clients that I've worked with, is that it always feels better to be present with yourself, with your true, accurate experience, whatever is true for you in this moment, whatever, even if it's uncomfortable, it feels better to be present rather than reverting to these patterns of coping that may not feel really good, whatever those are, whether it's scrolling, whether it's anxious thoughts, whether it's substances or eating or something like that. It always feels better to be present. And if you're sitting here and being present with yourself, I'm really proud of you, especially if you're watching the end of this video. Kudos to you. Let me know how this went for you, and let me know how much better you feel now that your thoughts are not racing. So sending all the love, and I will see you in the next video.